Hello students, today we shall discuss the 7th chapter of 2nd PUC Basic Maths, and that is Ratios and Proportions. Ratios is a tool used to compare quantities. Let me just write something. So, let me write this. How would you read this? Some of you may say 3 by 5, some of you may say it is 3 out of 5. And if I ask you what is this, I am sure most of you would tell me it is a fraction. Yes, it is a fraction. 3 by 5 is a fraction. But does 3 by 5 also represent a ratio? What if I say, yes, it could be a ratio? Now then you would ask me, how do I tell when I look at this number whether it is a fraction or a ratio? We are not able to tell unless we know what it represents. So, let me explain this concept with the help of an example. Now, let me say I had 5 chocolates. So, I have with me 5 chocolates and I see there are 2 children. One I name as A and the other one is B. Now, this A is very small. So, I think A should get little more chocolates than B, because anyhow I cannot divide 5 equally. So, I will feel like giving A 3 chocolates and I will feel like giving B 2 chocolates. Now, if I were to tell you what is the share of A? What is the share of A? Totally there were 5 chocolates and A gets 3 out of 5. Out of a total 5, share of A is 3. So, 3 by 5 is a fraction which represents one quantity, and that is the share of A with respect to the total quantity. Now, same way if I say what is the share of B? Share of B, B gets, how much does B get? B gets 2 chocolates out of 5. So, again I can say that 2 by 5 is a fraction which represents, we are comparing one quantity with the total quantity, and that is why it is a fraction. Now, now I want to compare how much did A get and how much did B get. So, if I compare the quantities or the number of chocolates of A and B, then I can say it is 3 by 2, where 3 represents A's share and 2 represents B's share. Now, here what we are doing is, we are comparing 2 quantities. One is the share of A and the other one is the share of B. So, when I am comparing 2 quantities, what I am getting is a ratio. So, here 3 by 2 represents a ratio, and it can also be denoted as 3:2. So, that means now I can say that ratio is a special type of fraction which is used to compare related quantities. So, let us look at the definition of ratio. Ratio is the relationship between 2 quantities of the same kind. So, you need to stress on the point that they have to be quantities of the same kind. When you are measuring or writing the ratio of 2 quantities, their units should be the same. Then only we can compare and write what is their ratio. Now, if P by Q is a ratio, then the first term or the numerator is called as, important to know the definition or just what is the term stands for. The first term, that is P, is called as antecedent, and the second term Q is called as the consequent. Now, we will learn some types of ratios. Inverse ratio. If you are given a ratio P by Q, then its inverse ratio is just the reciprocal. So, the inverse ratio is nothing but Q by P. So, just remember the definitions. You will get this for 1 mark. So, problems based on these definitions will come for 1 mark for you. So, the inverse ratio means just take the reciprocal. P by Q is the ratio and its inverse is Q by P. Next concept is compound ratios. If I am given 2 or more ratios and I am asked to find its compound ratio. How do I find compound ratio? All that I have to do is multiply the given ratios. Let me explain with an example. If we are given 2 ratios, one is 2:3 and the other one is 3:5 and you are asked to find the compound ratio. Write it in the form of a fraction and multiply the 2 ratios. So, the compound ratio will be 2 by 3 into 3 by 5. So, this will give you the compound ratio. And then just simplify, 3 and 3 cancels and the answer becomes 2 by 5. 2:3 and 3:5, their compound ratio answer is 2 by 5. Now, let us see the next few more type of ratios, very important for your 1 mark questions of your board exam. If you are given a ratio A:B, so the ratio is given A:B and you want to find what is its duplicate ratio. Just need to know the definition. Duplicate ratio is just square both the terms. First term antecedent, second term consequent, square both of them. So, A:B, its duplicate ratio becomes A square is to B square. Duplicate ratio, so the answer also is again a ratio. If you are asked subduplicate, so given A:B, find its subduplicate ratio. Subduplicate means take the square root of both of them. So, first term if I take the square root, I will get root A and next one becomes root B. Again, subduplicate ratio is a ratio. The answer should be a ratio. Please keep this in mind. Next one is triplicate ratio. I am sure you will guess it by its name now. Triplicate means I have to cube both the terms. So, A:B, its triplicate ratio is A cubed is to B cubed and subtriplicate ratio is cube root of A is to cube root of B. Question 2, X gets a salary of rupees 20,000 and Y gets a salary of rupees 5,000 and you are asked to find the ratio of their salaries. What is the meaning of ratio? Ratio also means a fraction, salary of X divided by salary of Y. That is all you have to do, salary of X divided by salary of Y. Salary of X is 20,000 and salary of Y is 5,000. Just simplify this and you notice that you will get it is 4 by 1. You can also say therefore, the ratio is 4:1. This is the answer. Question 3, find the inverse ratio of 4:5. Inverse ratio, just take the reciprocal or interchange the first and the second term. So, the answer is the given ratio is 4:5, inverse ratio, interchange these two, 5:4. So, just write the inverse ratio is 5:4. Question 4. Mr. X completes a job in 3 hours and Mr. Y completes the same job in 45 minutes. compare the performances. Ratio is nothing but comparing quantities of the same kind. Notice in this sum, this time taken by Mr. X is 3 hours and the time taken by Mr. Y is 45 minutes. Please note the unit is not the same. If I need to compare, I have to have the same units, convert it. So, let us take time taken by X is 3 hours, which can be converted to minutes. And that is 180 minutes. And the time taken by Y is 45 minutes. Now consider the ratio. If I take the ratio of the time taken, then I get 180 divided by 45. Reduce the fraction to the simplest form, cancel any common factors, and this you get it as 4 by 1. So, you can say the ratio is 4:1. Question 5, find the compound ratio of. So, you are asked to find the compound ratio. Recall definition of compound ratio. All that you have to do is multiply the ratios. So, let us look at the first one, that is A. Option A, first ratio is 3 by 4 and the second ratio is 4 by 7, and therefore, the compound ratio is. So, the compound ratio is, what should I do? Multiply the two ratios, multiply the two fractions. 3 by 4 into 4 by 7, 4 and 4 gets cancelled. So, you get it as 3 by 7. You can leave it as 3 by 7 or you can also write it as 3:7. Now, second one, compound ratio is first fraction 1 by 2 multiply second fraction 2 by 3 multiply the third fraction. Third fraction is 3 by 5. Anything cancels? Yes, 2 and 2 cancels, 3 and 3 cancels. Reduce it to the simple form, you get it as 1 by 5. So, this is how you get the compound ratio. Write the ratio in the fraction form and multiply. Let us look at the next set of questions. Question number 6, find the duplicate ratio of 5:4. Recall definition of duplicate, just square both the terms. So, the answer directly you can write, the answer is 25:16, square of the first term and square of the second term. Next question, find the triplicate ratio. What is the meaning of triplicate? Cube the ratios. So, directly we will write the answer. The answer is 3 cubed is 27 and 5 cubed is 125. Please note here, all of them, the answers also are ratios. Next one, 8th one, find the sub triplicate. So, please note sub, when it is sub, it is cube root. So, take the cube root of 125 and cube root of 64. So, the answer is 5:4. And the next one, subduplicate. Subduplicate means take the square root of both the terms. Square root of 9 is 3 and square root of 49 is 7. So, the answer is 3:7. Question 10, find the ratio between two numbers such that their sum is 40 and the difference is 8. Now, we are asked to find the ratio between two numbers, but we are not told what are the two numbers. So, the first task is find the two numbers and then find the ratio. So, let us see how to find the two numbers. A very simple statement problem. You know, what do you know about the two numbers? You don't know the numbers. Whenever we don't know anything in maths, we give it some names, and our most favorite names in maths are x and y. So, let us take, let the numbers be x and y. So, what do I know about the numbers? When I add the two numbers, x plus y should give me 40. The difference, x minus y should give me 8. Just solve it like a simple simultaneous equation. Add the two equations, y gets cancelled. 2x is equal to 48 or x is equal to 24. Substitute x in one of the equations. Supposing I substitute in 1. So, this is 1 and this is 2. When I substitute the value of x in 1, I get x is 24 plus y is equal to 40, or y is 40 minus 24, and that is y is equal to 16. The question is not to find the two numbers, but the question is to find the ratio of the two numbers. Therefore, the ratio, that is x by y is equal to 24 by 16, and that is 3 by 2. So, you get the ratio is 3 by 2. You can also write it as 3:2. Question 11. A ratio in the lowest term is 3:8. The difference between the quantities is 25, and you are asked to find what are the quantities. So, what we know is the two quantities are in the ratio 3:8. We do not know what the two quantities are, but we know their ratio. So, since I know the ratio, I need not take them with two variables. I need not take it as x and y. Before we start this sum, just look at this concept. Now, supposing you have one number as 3000 and the other number as 5000. When we take the ratio, what do we do? The simplest form means this is 3 into 1000 and this is 5 into 1000, and 1000 and 1000 gets cancelled, and then the ratio becomes 3 by 5, and this is called as the ratio in its simplest form. So, from the simplest form, if I have to get back the original quantity, what is missing? The 1000 and 1000. So, if I have to guess what is the original term, I surely know it is 3 into. It should be 3 into something, because I am not aware it is 1000. So, I will write it as 3 into x. What happens to the term in the denominator? Because they are in ratio, the second term also should be 5 into that same value. So, do not take it as y. This and this are same value and I do not know it. So, I will take it as x. So, I can represent, if I know the simplest form of the ratio is 3:5, I can say let the quantities be 3x and 5x. So, if one term is 3x, the other term will be 5x. I hope you understood this concept. With this concept, we will work out the given sum. So, what is given? Given the two quantities are in the ratio now let me take, therefore, what can I take? Let the two quantities be, let the two quantities be 3x and 8x. So, now I have taken, let the two quantities be 3x and 8x. Next, what is given to me? Difference between the two quantities is 25. I have told the difference is 25. That means the greater number minus the smaller number must be 25 because 25 is positive, and it's very obvious to me that 8x is the greater number. So, I will take 8x minus 3x is equal to 25. So, from there I get 5x is equal to 25 or x is equal to 5. What am I asked? I am asked to find the two quantities. And what are those two quantities? 3x and 8x. Therefore, the two quantities are, first one is 3x, so 3 into 5 and that is 15, and the next one is 8x, that is 8 into 5 and that is equal to 40. Question number 12. Two numbers are in the ratio 3:5 and if 5 is added to each, their ratio will be 2:3 and you are asked to find the numbers. So, what is given to us? Given that the two numbers are in the ratio 3:5. The moment you know the two numbers are in the ratio 3:5, how do we say let the numbers be? Now we know it already. So, immediately I write let the numbers be 3x and 5x. Next, what is given to me? If 5 is added to each of them, add 5 to the first number, add 5 to the second number, 3x plus 5, and this will be 5x plus 5. Then take the ratio of the two numbers, the new ratio will be 2:3. So, 3x plus 5 divided by 5x plus 5 is equal to 2/3. Now, take the cross multiplication. 3 into 3x plus 5 equal to 2 into 5x plus 5. Let us simplify this and see what answer we will get for x. Now, just multiply 9x plus 15 is equal to, now multiply this, 2 into 5 is 10, x plus again it is 10. Get all the numbers to one side and the x terms to one side. 9x minus 10x equal to 10 minus 15. So, we get minus x is equal to minus 5, or you get x is equal to 5. You got the value of x, the sum is not over. Find the numbers. What have we taken? Let the numbers be. We have not taken it as x, we have taken it as 3x and 5x. So, write the conclusion. Therefore, the numbers are, one is 3x and that is 3 into 5 which is equal to 15, and the other one is 5x and that is 5 into 5 which is equal to 25. So, we get the two numbers are, one is 15 and the other one is 25. Question 13. What must be added to each term in the ratio 2:3 so that it becomes 5:6? Understand the question. You are given the ratio 2:3 and the question is what must be added to each term in the ratio. So, the first term in the ratio is 2, I should add something to it, 2 plus something. I do not know what is that, so I will always take it as x. Then that same thing I should add it to the second term also. What must be added to each term in the ratio? That says I have the ratio 2/3, add x to this Add the same thing to this also. 2 plus x by 3 plus x, so that the new ratio becomes 5 by 6. Very simple sum. You can directly do the simplification, cross multiplication. 6 into 2 plus x is equal to 5 into 3 plus x, and that is 12 plus 6x is equal to 15 plus 5x. Now get all the terms, x terms to one side, you get 6x minus 5x equal to 15 minus 12, and that is x is equal to 3. And here the question is to find what is x itself. So here we stop, the answer is x equal to 3. Question 14, what must be subtracted from each term in the ratio 8:7 so that it becomes 4:3? So you are asked to subtract something from both the terms. You don't know what it is. Let us take it as x. So the ratio is 8/7. Subtract x from each of them. This becomes 8 minus x and denominator is 7 minus x. After you subtract x from both of them, the new ratio will be 4/3. You are asked to find what is x. Simplify this and get the answer. 3 into 8 minus x is equal to 4 into 7 minus x. Now this is 24 minus 3x is equal to 28 minus 4x. Get all the x terms to one side, so you get minus 3x plus 4x is equal to 28 minus 24. So minus 3x plus 4x, you get it as x is equal to 4. So the answer is x equal to 4. Question 15, you are given three ratios. A is to B is 2:3, B is to C is 3:5, C is to D is 5:7. You are asked to find what is the ratio A is to D. Let us write them first in the form of fractions. So if I write it in the form of fractions, first one becomes A by B is 2/3. The next fraction is B by C is equal to 3/5, and the next one is C by D is equal to 5/7. Now from here I want to find what is A is to D. A is to D is nothing but A by D. How do I get A by D? By using these. Just look at the left side of all the three fractions. A by B, B by C and C by D. I want to get A by D. So all that you have to do is multiply. Just look at this. I can write it as, just see here, what happens when I multiply A by B into B by C into C by D. What happens? B and B gets cancelled, C and C gets cancelled, and you get nothing but A by D, and that is what we want. So now what we are going to do is we are going to multiply the three ratios, which is same like finding the compound ratio. So this is now right hand side, write the right hand side values. 2/3 into 3/5 into 5/7. So B and B, C and C gets cancelled, left hand side becomes A by D, and the right hand side again 3 and 5 get cancelled, becomes 2/7. So you can also write, therefore A is to D is equal to 2:7. Question number 16, we are given A is to B is 2:3. You are also given B is to C is 6:13, and you are asked to find the ratio A is to B is to C. Look at this carefully. you are asked to find 3 terms are there in the ratio. A is to B is to C, and we are given the ratio. These 2 ratios are given. Now let us see how to do this sum. Now what is given to me is A is to B and then B is to C. So let me write this. A is to B is to C. This is what I have to find. So first what is given to me? A is to B. Write it in the first row. So A is to B is given as 2 is to 3. Next, what is your next ratio? B is to C. Write it in the second row. So B, and write it under B, you write it as 6, and under C you write it as 13. Now if I want to find what is A is to B is to C, find that one term which is common in both the rows. You have A here, you have B in both of them. Now whichever is common in both the rows, make it equal. Make it equal. So which is common? That is B. I need to make B equal. Now is it equal? No. This is 3 and this is 6. How can I make it equal? By multiplying by some number. So this one, first one, look at this, this is 3. If I multiply by 2, it will become 6. So what will we do? We will multiply the first row by 2. So this becomes 6. Should I multiply the second row by anything? It's already 6. To make it 6, it's only into 1. So I need not multiply the second row. So since I need not multiply the second row, now let us see what we are getting. Now when we are writing the answers, we are going to write the answer in only one row. Now look at A. It is 2 is to 3, but I am multiplying by 2. So 2 into 2, this becomes 4. Now 3 into 2, 3 into 2 is 6, so this becomes 6. Now come to the second row. It is again 6. So I can continue here itself. I need not go to the next row because it is the same answer. Now 13 into 1 is 13, and this give me the answer. Therefore, A is to B is to C is equal to 4 is to 6 is to 13. I can just repeat this. A is to B was given, B is to C is given. What was common to both was B. So I tried to make B same. I wanted to make B same in both. I wanted to make them equal. So I multiplied the first row by 2. So 2 into 2 became 4. 3 into 2 became 6. This also became 6. So wrote it only once, and this is 13, and that's why the ratio is 4 is to 6 is to 13. Question 17. A is to B is given as 3 is to 4. B is to C is given as 8 is to 15. You are asked to find the ratio A is to B is to C. Now A is to B is to C is what is asked. First write what is given. First ratio, A is 3 and B is 4. Next ratio in the next line, B is 8 and C is 15. Which one is common to both? B is common to both. Make it equal. This is 4 and this is 8. How to make it equal? I can make both of them 8 if I only multiply the first row by 2. When I multiply the first row by 2, what do I get? 3 into 2 becomes 6. 4 into 2 becomes 8. Now come to the second row, that is also 8. So I will remain here itself. I will not write it down because it's the same value. Next one here, it is 15, and therefore you get the answer. A is to B is to C is 6 is to 8 is to 15.